Hello students, welcome to the MCQ discussion video on Medico apps. The question we are going to discuss today has come in the All India PG examination and also in a state PG examination. And the question here we are going to discuss is from the general surgery and the topic is from the grafts. So let's discuss this important question and also understand the concept behind the question here. So here the question framed is that a graft that has been derived from another species of different genetic disposition. Now, here to resolve a question or to crack an answer for an MCQ, the first key point is to understand the key points from the question itself. Yes, the question has all the answers and we have to take out those key points from that particular question. So let's see what are the key points here. So the first key point here is the graft. That means the topic belongs from the graft. The second key point here is that the graft or the tissue which is taken is from the another species of different genetic disposition. Now, to understand this entire question, the key point depends on this another species of different genetic disposition. And you will understand that when you know the points here, the options here. The options here are Allograft, Heterograft, Autograft and Isograft. So, let's answer and let's decode the question with the answer. So, before going into the depth of this before getting into the question's answer, I want to discuss few points along with the options here which is given. Now, the first question here is that what is basically graft? Do you know about the grafts? So, grafts are basically tissues that are being transferred or transplanted from one part of the body or from one species of the body or from the identical twins. And that is what are the types of grafts which the option has. Now, these grafts which are transferred or the tissues which are transplanted from one side to the other side are without their blood supply. And how do they get the blood supply? So once they are present into the new site, if I have a graft from this place to another site, I'll get a new blood supply. It will be revascularized in that particular area or the site where it has been transferred. Okay, so let's start with the first option, which is the allograft or the homograft. Now, what do you understand by term allograft or homograft? So, allograft is when a transfer of or from a transplant of a tissue from individual of the same species. That means the transplant of the tissues from humans to human. That is what is allograft or homograft, and that is the predominant form of transplantation today. The second option here was the xenograft or the heterograft. The question here was Xenograft or Xenograft. Now, what is the Xenograft or Heterograft? The word itself, Heterograft, you have understood the half part of that Heterograft or the Xeno word. So here, to make it easy, let me just describe you and define this Xenograft or Xenograft. So, when a transplant of the tissue is taken from the one species to another species, okay, that means from an animal to the human beings. Okay, that is what we call it as heterograft. Now, recently you must have read in newspapers and seen in news that a genetically modified pig heart was transplanted to a human being. Though sadly that man died after 2 months, but it was a transplant from a modified genetically pig to a human being, and that is what we call it as heterograft. Something related to the question which is just asked. Okay, but before that, I want you to eliminate all the 4 or 3 options and get the fourth answer. That is when you will be sure of it. So I hope you have understood the heterograft, and the example here is the heart valves. The third option here was the autograft. Now, what is this autograft? So, if I have got a burn here, okay, and the skin from one part of my own body is being transplanted to the part where it was burned, that is what you call it as autograft. And the example here exactly is the skin transplant in burn patients. So that is what the autograft. I hope till now you have understood the allograft, heterograft, and the autograft. And last option was the isograft. Now, isograft is when a genetically identical donor, that is, what is genetically identical donor? That means the twins. Yes, the identical twins. When a tissue is transferred from one twin to another twin, that is what you call it as isograft. And please do remember this also, that the first successful human kidney was an isograft example. Now, don't think that only this particular question can be framed. Either of the option can be asked as an MCQ to you, and the answer now you can easily eliminate. You will get the options. You can easily eliminate the options and you'll get the answer straight away. So I hope you have understood this concept, that what is graft, what are the types of grafts. So can you now answer the question which was framed? The question here, again, we are going back to the key point. Another species of different genetic disposition. That was the second option. Yes, the heterograft. Heterograft was when the tissue was transplanted from one species, that is from the modified pig example, for example, to a human being. That is the heterograft, and that is your answer for the MCQ here asked. So I hope you have got this particular topic, a small topic but an important topic from MCQ point of view. And sometimes this can even be asked as a viva question in your examination in the general surgery section. Thank you for today. We'll get another question and we'll resolve it the same way. Thank you. Good day. Good luck.